Yeah, hello everyone. Welcome back to my stream. I've been programming pretty much. I'm going back to the programming every day until I get a job title. I mean, it's been true the whole time. I just figured I'd change up the title. But, I thought about going back. We are back to building our own Redis using Go. And we are continuing off into the replication section. And now we're on step 3. The info command on a replica. So let's check this out. In this stage, you'll extend your info command to run on a replica, the -- replica of flag. By default, a Redis server assumes the master role. When the replica of flag is passed, the server assumes the slave role instead. Here's an example of the usage of the replica of flag. That replica of that. Okay. In this example, we're starting a Redis server in replica mode. And one second. Sorry. I know this is highly unprofessional. So in this example, we're starting a Redis server in replica mode. The server itself will listen for connections on port 6380, but it'll also connect to a master, another Redis server running on localhost port 6379, and replicate all changes from the master. We'll learn more about how this replication works in later stages. For now, we'll focus on adding support for the replica of flag and extending the info command to support returning role slave when the server is a replica. The tester will execute your program like this. It'll then send the info command with the replication as an argument to your server. Press CLI-P port info replication. That's interesting. Do I not have to worry about that too much? Your program should respond with a bulk string where each line is a key value pair. Yep, the tester will only look for the role key and assert the value is slave. Your program still needs to pass the previous stages. Test self replica of isn't specified. You should default to the master role. Just like this last stage, you only need to support the role key in the response for this stage. We'll add support for the other keys in later stages. You don't need to actually connect to the master server specified there. We'll get to that later. So I'm really curious if I have to handle this -p portion, or if the Redis CLI handles that for me. I'm gonna assume the CLI handles that for me, and I mean, we'll figure out whenever we get to the test, but let's see. Okay, let's go to our definitions and add some information. Okay. Sorry about that. Okay, here it is. Replica of string. Okay. That should now be settled. Okay, so we need to handle... Okay, the port is already handled. Okay. That's not too bad. I'll add master port and master host, because it seems like that would be good to have. Master port, master host. Okay. So get program arguments. I'm going to create a new function to build our replication info. Func get server replication info. Our config, that's going to be, I believe, a map. Yep, a map of string to string. And we're going to return just a new server replication info. Let me see. Replica of has replica of equals our config replica of. If we have that, I'll get into that, but it'd be much simpler to do the else first. Info equals server replication info. Boom. 5 info dot role equals, I think master is just lowercase. Yeah. Return info. Okay, so now we have that. Split replica of equals strings dot split replica of, just a space, info dot role equals slave, info dot master host equals split replica of the first item, and the port is going to be the second item. So let's go ahead and update this. We'll pass it the R config, and boom. I mean, I think that's really it. We'll do the co-crafters test. See if that works. It'll take some time. To be frank, I'm thinking about trying out some different projects here. Maybe some personal, maybe some other co-crafters, because co-crafters definitely seem like they have some other ones. This is a really, really, really in-depth project, especially if you go through and you do every single one of these. I feel like you would learn a lot, and I feel like I do want to do this over time. I just don't know if I want to do it all at once, because it's just so much. Hey, test pass. That's fantastic. Look at that. Do I need to submit it? I do need to submit it. I don't get why some you have to submit and some you don't, but whatever. Submit. Maybe it's like giving you an offer to refactor your code and saying, hey, you know, like if you didn't do this right, maybe you want to rearrange it so that way you're not just hard coding shit, or it's done in a more dynamic way, so that way you don't have to really think about that way you, for example, you're not hard coding master and it can be easily changed in the future. I don't know. I've had easier, better examples in previous sections where I've written my code in a way that's not super hard-coded, and then because of that, in the following steps, it's just like, oh, it's just a small little addition, and then boom, you're done. But that stage is now complete. Initial replication ID. In this stage, you'll extend your info command to return 2 additional values, master REPL ID and master REPL offset. The replication ID and offset. Every Redis master has a replication ID. It is a large pseudo random string. This is set when the master is booted. Every time a master instance restarts from scratch, its replication ID is reset. Each master also maintains a replication offset corresponding to how many bytes of commands have been added to the replication stream. We'll learn more about this offset in later stages. For now, just know that the value starts from 0 when a master is booted and no replicas have been connected yet. In this stage, you'll initialize a replication ID and offset your master. The ID can be any pseudo-random alphanumeric string of 40 characters. For the purposes of this challenge, you don't need to actually generate a random string. You can hard code it instead. As an example, you can hard code that as a replication ID. The offset is to be 0. Okay, well, sure. I mean, I guess that makes sense. Like, the purpose of this challenge isn't to learn how to make a pseudo-random string. Like, the purpose of this challenge is to learn how it works, and this is just like, it's an implementation detail. The offset is set to be 0. These 2 values should be returned as part of the info command. Okay. So replication ID and offset. So we'll go over here. Let's go to our definition. Replication ID string replication offset int. For right now, that works. Now here, info dot offset equals 0. Info dot replication ID equals. Let me go ahead and copy this. There we go. Okay. And now we just need to update our info command. Very easy. Really haven't gotten into anything difficult at all. So the replication ID is only for master, right? Master REPL ID and master REPL offset. Okay. Every Redis master has a replication ID. This is set when the master is rebooted. Each master also maintains a replication offset. So I guess I only show this if it's a master. I'm going to have that for right now, and we'll see if we need to change that in the future. If server repinfo.role equals master. Okay. Oh, I see. So the first one is REPL ID. Master REPL ID. And what is that? Master underscore REPL ID, all lowercase. And master offset. Master underscore REPL underscore offset. Very easy. Let's make sure we're actually having the right stuff. Can't do that. Can I do that? Does that just handle that? That would be nice. I hope it does, because usually I think I have to do like the stir convert I to A. I'll be interested if we don't actually have to do that here. But I guess we'll find out. Test failed. 2 people. What? Oh. You know how I said we should actually make sure we do the right fields? I knew I would have to do it. I knew it. Of course. Very simple. Okay. Helps if I actually put the right thing there. And there we go. Very simple. Do I have to submit it? I do. Okay. I think I might just start doing submit from now on. I don't think that there's anything wrong with, you know, doing a submit and it's wrong. It's just going to say, hey, you're wrong. Stop being dumb. And then I'll be like, you know what? That was dumb. And I'll fix it. And then it will be less dumb. I'm not going to say it's not going to be dumb because, you know, code can typically have some dumbness inside of it. But it's less dumb. And that's what's important. Send a handshake. Okay. Feel like we're starting to get into something a little bit interesting. We have just flown through these. I'm really hoping we get into some that are a little bit more difficult. I'm looking at this little difficulty mirror right here. So we get to some mediums, easy. I wonder if it's just because of... Okay, so we get a little bit of hard. Okay. We have a few hards. That's good. I like a little bit of hard on my challenge. I don't want it to be soft. It's not as good. You never want that. In this stage, we'll implement part 1 of the handshake that happens when a replica connects to a master. When a replica connects to a master, it needs to go through a handshake process before receiving updates from the master. There are 3 parts of this handshake. The replica sends a ping to the master, this stage. Excuse me. The replica sends repl.conf twice to the master. Next stages. The replica sends psync to the master. Next stages. We'll learn more about repl.conf and psync in later stages. For now, we'll focus on the first part of the handshake, sending ping to the master. The test will execute like this. Okay. It'll then assert that the replica connects to the master and sends the ping command. Okay. The replica... Okay. Interesting. I'm just going to try this, even though I know it's not going to work at all. I want to see it fail. Yeah. It doesn't do anything. Timed out. Test failed. Okay. So I need to send a ping command. To the master, and I have the master host name and the port number, so I just have to build the ping command and send it. Interesting. Okay, we can figure that out. That'll be interesting. Now, I'm about to do something that may seem like I am procrastinating, but I think it's about time we break apart some of these. Helpers.go. Package main. Definition server.go. Get command info. It's at least these are helpers. Let me go ahead and add these. Organize our imports. Nope, not what I meant. Okay. Let's make sure we get these as well. Okay, we're now down to a measly 328. It's better. It's still a lot, but it's better. We need to definitely clean it up more, but I'm not going to do that a ton right now. I'm going to have another file called replication.go for our replication files. And I think one thing we can do is do get server replication info for sure. That's obviously something we can put in there. Package main. Code action. And let's go and do that. Okay. Func perform slave handshake. We're going to want our server rep info, and we're going to get a pointer to a server application info. Probably going to need more, but for right now, that's what we're going to start out with. We're going to keep it nice and simple. I don't know if we're going to finish this one today, but we're going to try. So let's see. Cool. Perfect. Let's go back to the ping command and see what it looks like raw, because that's really what I'm wondering about. Yeah, it's just gonna be this. The exact bytes your program will receive won't just be ping, you'll receive something like this. It's an array with one item that is a bulk string that says ping. Okay, that's very easy. I've already got something to build that. So now we just need to find out how to make a TCP connection and also write to that TCP connection. Golang make a TCP connection. No. I guess we'll look at that. That is very bright. Understanding TCP, don't need all that, don't need all that. Creating a TCP server, don't want that. TCP client, okay. Import the following net.dial is what we're looking for. Cool. Net.dial network string. And then the address. I'm pretty sure the address is going to be a combination of the host name and also, oh yeah, TCP. So we just passed TCP, and then that's going to be Jeez, get out of my face. Server repinfo dot host, master host plus server repinfo dot master port, and con error equals that, handle error. Let me go here because this 100% belongs in our helpers. It's our first helper that we built. Okay. Back to replication. So if we don't have an error, we can, I believe we can do con.write. Yeah. Awesome. So we want a byte array, and to do that we can do this. We're going to build an array with I think I know how to do this on one line, even though I probably shouldn't do this on one line. String build bulk string ping. Does that work? We're gonna find out. Okay, so now if we go to our server, don't need that. I'm also gonna have a commands.go. Package main. Let's see. Handle info command, handle get command, handle get, handle set, get options for set. Okay, all those. Those are gonna go in our commands. Now we can go in here, go to code actions, boom, done. And now if we go to our server, this is gonna be much more clean. I like this a lot more. It's just our necessary things for our server. We have a couple of functions for handling a connection, adding data from the RDB file. To be fair, this could definitely be in our RDB file processing, but you know, as I say that, I'm gonna do it. I was gonna say I'm not gonna do it, but it just makes so much sense that I'm gonna do it. Okay. Now if we go back to our server, we just have our main, we have our handle connection, and that is it. So here, I have a feeling we're not going to be adding data from our RDB file if we're a slave. That doesn't make really any sense to me, but it hasn't talked about that, and I don't think it's going to talk about that, but I'm not going to mess with that. So if server application info.role equals slave perform slave handshake, server application info, boom. Let's see what this looks like if we get anything at all. We do. That was easy. That was very easy. Let's go ahead and submit. It even says that we need to submit. I just haven't been reading that. That's fantastic. I need to commit this because I don't think I've been committing. Git add dot. Does that commit for me? I think it does. If I go to lazy git, yeah, it does. That's pretty cool. I like that. That's very useful. By the way, just tip to anyone who's watching, if you use Vim, learning the Git CLI is very nice. I highly recommend it, but also LazyGit is also a fantastic tool to easily commit your code and look at diffs and other things like that. I would check that out. But anyways, I'm not sure if I'm going to do the next part. I'm going to read the next part, and we're going to decide whether that's something I want to even think about. Okay. Mark it as complete. In this, probably not going to do this, but we'll see. In this stage, you'll implement part 2 of the handshake. That happens when a replica connects to master. As a replica, there are 3 parts to a handshake. The replica sends a ping. We've done that. The replica sends repl_conf twice to the master, which is what we're doing here. And then we do the psync. After receiving a response to ping, the replica then sends 2 repl_conf commands to the master. The repl_conf command is used to configure replication. Replicas will send this command to the master twice. The first time it'll be sent like this: repl_conf, listening port, and the port. This is the replica notifying the master of the port it's listening on. This is the replica notifying the master. Okay, so the port of the replica. The second time it'll be sent like this: repl_conf kappa psync 2. This is a replica notifying the master of its capabilities. Kappa is short for capability, obviously. Okay, you can safely hardcode these capabilities for now. We won't need to use them in this challenge. Damn. I wonder what that does. These commands should be sent as resp arrays, so the exact bytes will look something like this. That's perfectly fine because we already have functions to build the arrays, so we'll just build the commands. I'm not going to do this tonight. I can definitely do this tomorrow. The repl_conf is an internal command, is used by res master configure connected replica. Okay. We should definitely make sure that we should add better logging. That's something I want to do as well. But we should add logging to handle instances where it's not able to connect, and also handle other instances where we get something that is not okay from our ping command. But, you know, maybe that's something that we'll handle next time. That sounds like that would definitely be something good to do. So, yeah, this really doesn't look that bad at all. I kind of want to just take a look for a second about some of the other challenges that CodeCrafters offers. Build your own shell. Grep sounds kind of interesting. The Kafka seems like it has potential. Git, Kafka, and SQLite definitely attract me the most. And they're not super long. Because this 7.9, I'm assuming this is also not super long. Yeah, it's not very long. So, yeah, maybe I'll do those as like a mini challenge, because I'm really enjoying Redis, but man, 55 stages is a lot. It's a lot, especially to just like bulldoze through it and get it all done. I'm having fun. It's a long time to be dedicated to a learning project and keep the interest. At least for me. I mean, maybe someone who's watching this is it's their thing and they're just hammering it home. And that's fantastic. But, I don't know. I have a really bad issue with going through and starting a project and then losing my steam. But I'm going to keep going for a bit, and we'll see if there are any of these other ones that we want to tackle, or maybe a personal project that I want to look at. Either way, thank you very much for tuning in and watching. I hope y'all come check out the stream if you're up for it. Usually I'm streaming generally every day, usually towards the nighttime, around 8 to 10 CST, like more realistically like 9 to 11 CST. But thank y'all very much for watching. I hope y'all have a good night, good day whenever you're watching, and I will catch y'all later.